Welcome to The Know, I'm Brian. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's do some news. We've got some more details about the upcoming Spider-Man game for the PlayStation 4. A new trailer posted yesterday by Sony gives some more details about the game's story. Now, in the game, Norman Osborn is now mayor of New York, and he's hired Silver Sable and her security force to restore order to the city, which is being rampaged by a bunch of people, including Electro, Mr. Negative, Vulture, and a lot of other bad guys. It also seems like Osborn, no surprise there, is gunning for Spider-Man, who he believes is contributing to the mayhem. Now, the trailer also shows what looks like Miles Morales and Mary Jane Watson. They're allied with Peter Parker as he is battling both the bad guys and Silver Sable. So there's all kinds of mayhem going on in the game that releases on September 7th. It can't get here soon enough. Finally, like a big budget Spider-Man game. I'm so excited. Oh, Sony has also announced a new limited edition Spider-Man PS4 Pro bundle. It's a 1 terabyte PS4 Pro that also comes with a copy of the game, all for $400. The console and the controller are all red, and the console itself sports the iconic white Spider-Man logo. It looks sweet. It's also allegedly up for pre-order right now, but it could be sold out by the time you see this, so don't have your heart broken if this is the way you find out. It looks like next month's Gamescom is shaping up to be a pretty interesting event. THQ Nordic says that its lineup will include 6 games, including the open-world co-op game Generation Zero, as well as Biomutant, Fade to Silence, Wreckfest, Townsman VR, and Darksiders 3. I love Darksiders. But a graphic from the studio also includes 2 question marks, indicating that it's got 2 more games to show off at the event in Germany. And one of those, it sounds like, will be shown during Gamescom's opening ceremony, so it sounds like they're planning to make a splash at the event. It's about a month away. It's going to take place August 21st through the 25th. The company behind the Dishonored games might be looking to bring them to the Switch, or at least it's going to do something with the Switch. That's what it sounds like based on a job listing for Arkane Studios, which is hiring for an engine programmer. One of the job requirements is knowledge of platform SDK for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Windows, Linux, and Nintendo Switch. So definitely sounds like they got something Switch-related planned. The French developer, most well-known recently for the Dishonored games, as well as last year's Prey, which was really good, so they might be planning to port one or more of those over to the Switch. You might remember a big controversy a few weeks back when PC gamers found some stealthy software, that's a nice way to put it, in their games that tracks users without their knowledge. Pretty sure that's called spyware. The analytics software is called Red Shell. Lots of people were pissed after it was discovered in their games without anyone's knowledge, and it was tracking what they were doing. Some people accused devs of embedding spyware, and after the backlash, a bunch of companies said they were going to drop the software from their games. That included Elder Scrolls Online, Conan Exiles, Warhammer, Vermintide 1 and 2, and more. Well, add another big game to that list, Civilization 6. In a recent update, the developer removed Red Shell from the game. It said in the update notes, Firaxis Games and 2K are committed to making Civilization 6 the best experience possible and will continue to support the title. Thanks, guys. Well, thanks to the popularity of games like Fortnite, Microsoft saw a big jump in its gaming revenue during the most recent financial quarter. The company's revenue from its video game business was almost $2.3 billion during the 3-month period that ended June 30th. That's a 39% increase from the same period a year ago. That's a big jump. Now, Microsoft said that the increase was driven by higher revenue from Xbox software and services. It added that Xbox software and services revenue increased 36%, mainly from third-party title strength. Now, that phrase, third-party title strength, probably a reference to Fortnite, which is on Xbox One in addition to pretty much everywhere else. It's made nearly $1 billion in digital sales since it released last year. Microsoft also said that Xbox Live monthly active users grew 8%, with continued growth across Xbox One, Windows 10, and mobile platforms. Now, interestingly, they were getting some new Xbox Live users from an unusual source. That's thanks to Minecraft's Universal Bedrock version version, which released on June 26th for the Switch. It allowed users the option to log into Xbox Live through the console, so there you go, the power of crossplay. Some of the best PUBG players will soon be doing their thing for a good cause. PUBG Corp said that the PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds Charity Showdown will feature players competing for a $1 million prize pool. It'll all go to charity. The event will team 40 game broadcasters with 40 pro PUBG players. Now, those teams will compete in 4 matches that will be live streamed on the game's Twitch channel. They'll be all fighting for a piece of that $1 million prize pool, but in the end, it's all going to go to the charity of their choice. The event's going to take place July 27th at 9 a.m. Central. After less than 2 years, the Gravity Rush 2 servers have been officially shut down. That just reminds me, I own Gravity Rush 2. I need to play it. Shit, I missed it. The game released early back in 2017. You might remember that Sony announced that it planned to close down its servers in January after just a year. Now, that led to a big fan outcry. In the end, Sony gave them an extra 6 months to participate in online activities. They kept the servers up. Well, now the day has finally come and all the servers were taken down earlier this week. Still, good news, the game is fully playable. You're just no longer able to do things like treasure hunts and various challenges. You can't access leaderboards. It's also much harder to acquire dusty tokens, which is how you buy various outfits and furniture. So that is a bummer, definitely, but at least you can still play the game. Shit, I own Gravity Rush 2. I totally missed it. My catalog's just too big. All right, Battle Royale modes, they are all the rage these days, but don't expect to see it in the upcoming Halo Infinite. The game was announced at E3, but unlike other big budget shooters like Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Halo Infinite will not be adding the popular mode. That's what we learned in a recent stream on the Halo Mixer channel. The developers, 343 Industries, were chatting with the community about the game. One person asked about the possibility of Battle Royale, but writer Jeff Easterling shut that down, saying, "I'll tell you right now, the only BR we're interested in is Battle Rifle." That's a reference to the game's well-known iconic weapon. Easterling added that the Battle Rifle is, quote, the original BR, and he also added, "So calm yourself." So that answers that question. Don't expect a Morrowind Remaster anytime soon. While that's been a popular request from fans of the game, Bethesda director and producer Todd Howard said in a recent interview he is not interested. In an interview with The Guardian, Howard, you might remember he was project leader and designer on the original game. He mentioned Morrowind's backward compatibility on platforms like the Xbox One, and he said, "I'm really happy that Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo and others are making it easier for people to play older games as they were played at the time. I actually prefer that over remasters. I'd rather you play Morrowind the way it was. I think the age is part of its identity." Then he went on to say, "For something like Morrowind, my personal preference is not to remaster it." All right, well, don't get your hopes up then. We've got an update in the continuing saga of what giant, super rich mega corporation is going to buy Fox, and it's a good bet that it's going to be Disney. Comcast has officially dropped out of the bidding, leaving the field wide open for Disney to finalize their deal. The Department of Justice has already approved the merger, and Fox likes the money, $71.3 billion. So now the only thing standing in the way just seems to be paperwork. Barring any last-minute Fox shareholder obstruction, the deal is going to happen. Big news for comic book movie fans. That means that X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Deadpool will be free to be merged into the existing MCU. It also means that Disney will own controlling interest in Hulu, as well as a huge back catalog of Fox TV and movies. That includes Aliens, Predator, Avatar, The Simpsons, Family Guy, and about a million other properties. Soon Disney will own us all. Can the X-Men make an appearance in the next Infinity War? I know that's not going to happen. I know they've shot it, but I just wanted them to look at the beeper at the end and see a giant X. Like, I would have lost my shit. All right, I'm going to stop fanning out. In a surprise move, Dave Filoni revealed a whopper of a Star Wars surprise at the end of a San Diego Comic-Con panel celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Clone Wars. And the big surprise, the show is coming back. Tweets from the panel indicate that the Clone Wars will actually get to finish out its run and will be aired on Disney's pending streaming service. I wonder why they're buying Fox with a pending streaming service. It's all coming together. The fan favorite animated series was canceled while in development of their final 2 seasons. As a result, many plot threads were left kind of dangling. Some were tied up with Filoni's follow-up show Rebels, and some are still mysterious. StarWars.com released the announcement trailer just as soon as the Comic-Con panel ended, and it shows the return of some familiar faces, including Anakin, Obi-Wan, and most importantly, Anakin's badass apprentice, Ahsoka Tano. Now, Filoni is hard at work on another animated Star Wars show called Resistance, which takes place between the events of Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, but hopefully he will be leading the charge on the Clone Wars as well. All right, that is all the news we've got for today. Let us know what you think about all these stories in the comments below. Let us know what you're playing. I'm going to keep playing Octopath Traveler. For all your news from every corner of the internet, like this video, subscribe to the Know.
Name as many Pokemon as you can, go.
Squirtle, Blastoise, Wartortle, Charmander, Charizard, Pikachu, Snorlax, Dragonite, Mew, Mewtwo, what's the dragon one? Zapdos, Eevee, Flareon, Jolteon.